Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the MPC Key 37 and an exclusive feature that I didn't really cover in my initial impressions, honest thoughts video. I actually glossed over it in my first beat with hardware video, which I connected to Ableton Live, and at the time, I didn't realize this was a feature that was exclusive to the Key 37. I had thought that once I installed the driver for my computer and connected with the Key 37, I thought it showed additional ports and I was like, oh, that's new or different. I thought maybe it was like a firmware update or a software update. That was incorrect. Turns out there is an exclusive feature that is hardware based in the Key 37. Now, I'll get more to those details a bit later because I did talk to Akai and confirm that information. But essentially, in a nutshell, there is additional USB MIDI ports baked into the hardware. Now, at first response, you'd think, well, yeah, it connects to USB MIDI hardware, no problem, right? It's a little bit different. It's actually USB MIDI hardware that's inside the Key 37, so it itself can act as a USB MIDI device that gets connected to other devices in standalone mode. So if you go to Menu, Preferences, and then your MIDI sync, you will see there is USB MIDI port 1 and USB MIDI port 2. That is not the case on any other MPC. So if you load up an MPC 1 and you go to the same thing, preferences and the MIDI sync information, you will not see USB MIDI port 1 and 2. Now in Ableton, I have the same template loaded up from my previous video where I talked about this setup. And under Pigments, Mini Freak, and Op6, you can see I have these ports right here, the MPC Key 37 port 1, MPC Key 37 port 2. They're all connected up right there. So again, I thought that this was a custom driver type of thing that Akai had provided that opened up this possibility. That is in fact not the case because it is a class compliant USB device essentially that is connecting to the computer and talking this way. For veterans out there, you'll know that when you're in standalone mode, you don't get USB ports opened up when you connect to a computer while in standalone mode. In fact, it kind of gets cut off in general. You don't get access to like the SD card, or you definitely don't get access to the internal hard drive. And also if you want to have access to the audio in and out, you have to actually put it in controller mode and then use the software on your computer to be able to have access to that type of stuff. So historically, standalone and controller mode have really been separated right there. So this bridges that gap slightly. Now, obviously there's ways around this because you can't just take your MIDI ports in and out and connect them to MIDI ports in and out on a computer and essentially have the same type of thing. Sort of. And the reason I say that is because with just one USB cable, you now have 32 channels of instruments that you can choose on your computer. So suddenly the MPC Key 37 could technically be an amazing controller for something like, say, MainStage or Ableton Live for a laptop, because with one USB cable, you'd have access to those instruments. You would still need an audio interface connected to your computer to be able to get that audio out of it. But at that point, you'd probably be sending to a mixer anyways. And if you're dealing with external hardware for a live performance, you'd have some sort of mixing setup anyways. But yeah, in the previous video, I talked about how I had Pigments, Mini Freak, and Op6 all loaded up from Ableton Live as VSTs being controlled with these ports. Because again, the MPC Key 37 is in standalone mode, and the way I have it connected to the computer is a USB-B port connected to the MPC, and then the USB-A port connected to the computer. This also works with other devices. You can take the MPC Key 37 in standalone mode and connect it directly into another MPC with the same type of cabling, USB-B, the blocky one, into the MPC Key 37, and USB-A, the flat horizontal one, into the other MPC, or a machine. I believe Machine hosts USB MIDI devices. So I actually think that's pretty cool and opens up some options for other type of devices to be able to connect and send MIDI back and forth. I am also aware that there is a network MIDI driver that you can load up from Akai to essentially get somewhat similar things. For instance, if you go to the USB ports here, there is a remote option. And what that remote option does is it connects to the Akai network driver that allows you to communicate back and forth between whatever's on the network that's supporting that driver. Historically, it's very buggy. I stopped using it because it just would stop working in the middle of a production. It's possible it's better nowadays, but I don't think so because I still see people online talking about how it just drops connection or just lags out or something. And I know it can be different for Windows and Mac and all that. But yeah, needless to say, not exactly reliable. Whereas a USB cable directly into the computer supporting 2 MIDI ports opens up quite a bit. Just for a quick demonstration, I do have things set up so I can control Ableton through the transport controls with that MIDI port. So if I go external in Ableton and hit play, you will see Ableton is now playing. And I hit stop, I get play again. Also, I can shuttle between bars on Ableton as well. So if I click up here for the transport controls and start moving around, you actually see in Ableton, it's following where this is on the timeline. So if I hit play at bar 14, you'll see it starts playing at bar 14 right there. That's pretty cool. Is that technically useful for your productions? I don't know. Generally speaking, I'm composing in semi-loop formats with the MPC, like usually long loops, maybe 1632 bar loops. And once I have something that I want to convert into like an arrangement, then I perform the arrangement into Ableton, and then I'll do overdubs, or Meems will do vocals on top of that. So I don't know if I would necessarily use that setup specifically, but I could definitely see some people having these hybrid setups where they want to control certain instruments externally, but still have the ability to connect up directly with Ableton Live. So I can see that as a possibility. And if you're curious how I have it set up to be able to control Ableton like that, I have sync checked for Key 37 port 1 inside Ableton. And then in standalone mode on the output ports, I have USB MIDI port 1 sync enabled. And additionally, sync send is on MIDI clock. You have to make sure that's enabled right there because it could be on off when you first load up the MPC. So as long as those are enabled, transport controls essentially work inside whatever DAW is reading a MIDI information like that. And also the clock sync seems to be pretty rock solid via the USB MIDI. Like if I turn this down to 89 BPM and then hit play start, you will see it's at 89, still settling, still, you know, not quite 89 yet, but it's very close. Basically 89 now after a few bars. So it did jump from 120 to 89, but as you can see, it's not fluctuating in Ableton. Could be one of those things where certain audio interface devices, their USB implementation for the MIDI could be a little off kilter a bit, possibly, whereas this seems to be pretty solid for the external clocking. Again, is this going to affect your productions? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I'm just sharing some information on here. And speaking of information, so I did talk to my contact over at Akai. They confirmed that this is in fact an exclusive feature to the Key 37, and the only reason it's exclusive is because it is a hardware innovation. There is specifically components inside that's making this happen. It kind of sounds like there's an additional USB MIDI device that was put on top of things inside the hardware that's kind of acting as an additional connection. Like imagine if you had another device that was exclusively USB MIDI ports connecting, you know, like some sort of bridge that takes USB MIDI to direct MIDI. Imagine that device was put inside the MPC Key 37 and just automatically connects every time the device is turned on. I would imagine it's something to that degree, because there's definitely no reason why they wouldn't just enable that for other MPCs if it was technically possible. Because I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed it's not available in other MPCs. It's actually a pretty useful feature for connecting standalone directly to DAWs or other environments that you want to communicate and have connected up. But with that information, hopefully this type of feature is added to future MPCs and doesn't become a one-off situation with the Key 37, because I think that's actually really handy. So what do you think? Is that a useful feature? Drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll definitely check them out. And if you are planning on picking up any gear, whether it be a Key 37 or other MPCs or hardware synths or MIDI controllers, using the affiliate links below in this video helps out the channel. So thank you very much if you do that. But that is the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.